Hi everyone, welcome to Twin Flame Weekly, episode 10. It's already episode 10, we're in double digits already. So this week's question is, I am going round and round in circles with my twin flame, should I just walk away? Which is such a great question, and it's a really common question as well. So it's all about karmic cycles, and we're going to be talking about that today. I'm getting distracted because there's a cat. Of course, there's a cat in my garden. Why would there not be? There's several actually. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm always sharing about cats, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about karmic cycles. But before we get right into today's topics, there's a couple of announcements. First, so my program Powerless to Empowered is now enrolling. It's private coaching with me. There is a 21-day and a 35-day option, and also 10% of proceeds are going to Together Rising, which is a beautiful charity based in the States, and they are helping the families that have been separated and displaced in the United States, on the border in the States, which is a cause that's really got to the heart of, I think, all of us who are compassionate. So 10% of revenue from that will be going to that really beautiful cause, and I'll put the links and the details down below of Together Rising if you want to go check them out. I also want to start by saying thank you to all of you for commenting, sharing, subscribing to the various places I'm at on the internet. Thank you for supporting this work. It really means a lot to me, so thank you. And finally, I'm a little bit backwards today, but I'll introduce myself as well. I'm Cheryl Muir, and I am a catalyst for twin flame healing and ascension, healing the divine feminine heart, one twin flame at a time. And I am somewhat obviously a twin flame myself. It is not an easy road, it's not an easy journey, but we will get there. So let's get right on into today's topic. I am going around in circles with my twin, should I just walk away? So again, really common thing to be thinking about when it comes to our twin, and the reason is this is all about karmic cycles. A karmic cycle is basically a pattern of dysfunctional behavior that your soul agreed to work through in this lifetime. It's not always about the other person's behavior either. It's about what it's triggering within you, and why you're tolerating less than ideal treatment. And you break a karmic cycle when you choose a different behavior, which may be walking away, or it may not be. It can be choosing a different way. It's getting out of that cycle. And also, just because you've walked away, and walking away can look like lots of different things, the old blocking on social media, all of that. Just because you've walked away, it doesn't mean you've broke the cycle necessarily. If you're in the same thinking patterns, you are likely to go into the same behavior. So it's really about changing what you believe and working on yourself first. Your beliefs then change your actions, and then that changes your outcome and your reality. So I want to give you some signs about whether or not you are in a karmic cycle, because we can be in patterns that are not necessarily karmic. Patterns can look like habits. They can look like going to the gym every day at 6 a.m. or whatever. Like, that's a really good pattern to be in. That's not a karmic cycle though. You are in a karmic cycle if, and I've got about 5 different reasons here. 1, if you're being disrespected. So being disrespected, quite obviously, there's a hawk flying overhead. Let me know what a hawk spirit animal means. If you know, I'd be really curious. I've got cats and hawks, and what do they mean? Not sure. Anyway, first sign of a karmic cycle, being stuck in a karmic cycle, is if you're being disrespected. So that one's fairly self-explanatory. If you feel like someone is disrespecting you with their behavior or their words, it is time to walk away, whether they're a twin flame or not. The second sign you're in a karmic cycle is if you feel taken for granted or used. Being taken for granted can feel like being underappreciated, someone not really seeing your value. If that's a twin, it may be triggering you to really look at that. Or feeling used for lots of different reasons. It can be feeling used for sex, frankly, if your twin is calling you up all the time and wanting to do the do, and that's something that you don't want to do because you're not in a relationship with him, or whatever your reasoning may be. You may choose to also, but if you just feel like they are using you, then it is more than likely that that is a deep core wound. That is always fun to go through. Been through that. You can feel used in lots of different ways. You can just feel generally that someone's not appreciating you, like they're calling you whenever they need you, but they're not really giving back to you. The third sign is accepting scraps of love. Now, this is super common. This is something I have really healed along the way, and something that I have struggled with for a long time, if I'm being really honest. Scraps of love looks like someone not contacting you that regularly, but when they do, you pick up the phone right away, or really committing to someone that hasn't committed to you, someone who is really giving you minimal levels of their time and their energy, and you're giving the maximum of yours. There's a whole host of reasons as to why this is happening. Most of it has to do with your own worth and your own value and your own belief in how much love you believe you deserve to receive. That's ultimately what's going on there. So sign number 3, you're in a karmic cycle, is accepting scraps of love. The fourth sign is being lied to or experiencing any major betrayal. This is without any discussion, apology, reconciliation, so it's notwithstanding that. But if you're being lied to or experiencing some kind of major betrayal within the twin flame experience, then that is a karmic cycle. That is something that you need to find the strength to walk away from. And the fifth and final sign is if you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt only to wish you hadn't, repeatedly. So this is happening again and again and again. You are trying to be in this state of being loving and being understanding and compassionate, but you feel as though you gave someone the benefit of the doubt and you really shouldn't, and you keep doing that. That's a pattern. That's a karmic cycle. It's also worth noting, and I posted about this last week, this whole thing of unconditional love in the twin flame community, it really, really bothers me and concerns me, because you will find, if you Google the term twin flames, you will find a lot of this rhetoric and narrative around the goal is to be in unconditional love. Now, while that might be factually accurate, the problem with that is, as twin flames, we have a lot of wounding. Maybe from this lifetime, maybe from past lifetimes. It could be either or, it could be both. In my case, it was both. There was a lot to work through. But whatever it is, we come here with a lot of wounding as twins, right? We do, because our work is to heal those wounds and then grow and ascend, ultimately. So when you tell someone who's deep in wounding that they need to be in unconditional love, that manifests itself and shows itself as doormat behavior. So you're thinking, I need to be in unconditional love, but unknowingly, or sometimes knowingly, you have these wounds, so you think you don't deserve any better than what you're getting, so you think you're being in unconditional love of someone, when actually you're accepting really dishonorable behavior, like the things we just mentioned, like someone who's not really there for you consistently, someone that's not creating memories with you, someone that's not committing to you, someone who is not in touch on a regular basis, someone who kind of picks you up and puts you down. That kind of person who isn't really treating you as if you are valuable, and isn't an energy, I don't want to say man or woman, because it could be either, divine feminine, divine masculine, but someone who is ultimately not pursuing you and not making you theirs. They're not claiming you and wanting to be in a relationship with you. That is the type of dishonorable behavior we accept when our wounds are really, really loud. And then our mind is listening to this whole narrative in the twin flame fraternity of we need to be in unconditional love. Unconditional love is such a high vibration, and if you are new to this journey, and or if you know you are still dealing with a lot of wounds, then, and there's nothing wrong with wounds, by the way, it's not good or bad, it's obviously there's an association with it of it being a very negative thing. It's not necessarily, it's just something that we need to work through. Our deepest wounds are our gifts, our deepest wounds are also the work that we're here to do. If you have a deep, deep wound and it's something you've really struggled with, that is probably your work, that is probably what you're here to teach. So there's that. I've sort of lost my train of thought, but basically when we're in those wounds, we are acting from that place, and so we need to heal them and find the strength to walk away. So those signs, again, that you're in a karmic cycle is 1, being disrespected. 2, being taken for granted or being used for whatever means. 3, accepting scraps of love. 4, being lied to or experiencing a major betrayal without any discussion, apology, or attempt at reconciliation. And 5, giving the benefit of the doubt only to wish you hadn't, over and over again. Now with these signs, with these karmic cycles, none of these things are divine feminine power. When you're in your divine feminine power, you are really loving, but you also don't take any shit from anyone either. And what it sounds like is not, oh my god, he's such a jerk, how could he do this to me? It's more like, okay, so I accepted this dishonourable behaviour, I did that, what made me do that, and where are those wounds? What can I do today to help heal those wounds? And ultimately it's about keeping your side of the emotional street clean and doing your work without blaming or judging or putting the power in the hands of the other person, because the power is with us. Obviously, if someone's really done us dirty and betrayed us and lied to us, that's not our fault by any means at all, so let's not get that twisted. But at the same time, we have the power, we always have the power to look at that and say, okay, if I'm being really honest with myself, is this a pattern? Has this happened before? The way my twin is treating me, is this something that I've accepted before from partners? Hell yes, it is. Okay, so my twin's showing that wound to me. They're holding up that mirror and they're showing me that wound, so I'm going to go heal that now, right? And it's not about judging yourself either or saying, oh, I'm so stupid for not seeing this or for doing this again. Just be really gentle with yourself. Like we did the other week in the meditation, I'll link that below as well, the meditation about speaking to your inner child and receiving love. Just be really, really gentle and speak to yourself like you would a 5-6-year-old child. Be really gentle and try and figure out what's going on and what's hurting you and how you're feeling and what you need to do to heal. And what you need to do to heal might be to cry it out. It might be to go to the gym and go to a really aggressive like kickboxing class or a boxing circuits boot camp or something. Like getting that energy out of your body by crying or by physical exertion can really, really help. It might be, you know what, I need to just take it easy today. I need to settle into this feeling and really feel what I'm feeling. I need to journal on it. I need to just chill out for a bit and just figure out what I'm going to do. All of those things are totally fine as long as you are dealing with it and you're not spiritualizing dysfunction, or you're not sort of light washing it and saying, oh, I'm just gonna like look at a crystal and hope that it goes away. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I love my crystals too. I'm always wearing a crystal bracelet or have crystals with me, but like don't try and use these ancient spiritual truths to get around doing the work. The work is messy. The work is really messy. It's sort of blood, sweat and tears and everything in between. So do the work. Do the work. That is the mantra. Do the work. Okay, I think that is everything. Oh, I have a new thing. I have a quiz called Are You a Twin Flame? So if you've been watching this and you're like, you know what, I'm really interested in this. I think I've met someone that could be a twin, but I'm really not sure. Then I have a quiz. It's only 11 questions, so it's really, really quick. And the feedback that we've been getting so far from the accuracy of it has been really, really amazing. So the link to the Are You a Twin Flame quiz is down below. And if you want a community of supportive twins, then you can join Infinite Love, which is my Facebook group. And again, the links are all down below in the comments. Okay, that's everything for today. You can find me all over the interwebs. I don't know what that was. Was that hawk or was that pigeon? Could be either, not sure. You can find me all over the interwebs. My website is CherylMuir.com. My handles are at Cheryl J. Muir on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube machine. I'm sending you all infinite love, and I will see you next week.